Hello Gemini and welcome to the future. This is your Paranoia reading for June 11th, 2021, Friday. So I'm going to pop my shoulder forward when I sit like this and it accentuates my hunch. So, shifting here, growing as the other readings are suggesting, right? Good posture. Meditate is the theme. I was just thinking about that a moment ago in relevance or in relation to all the other omens that have come up today, growth and shadow and all of that. And the idea of turning the inner eye on is sometimes a good idea, turning off the usual distractions. And, well, it helps that YouTube isn't working today on my television. So, the High Priestess. In fitting with the idea of meditation, this is the the card of spiritual mastery. It is someone who is seated in their understanding, but in a mystic and internal sense, although it's grounded in, shall we say, our shared understanding of spirituality. It's an internal mastery. It's kind of a contrast to the Hierophant. Many choices, many cups, some boon, some bane, and confusion is the challenge here. And I think of this as the struggle with consensus, because, well, let's say you've got a family, and the family says that, you're better served going to college than, I don't know, starting an emu ranch or something like that. And they have a consensus that you respect, and so it's challenging to refute that consensus. Let's say a larger consensus, a workplace consensus, or a government consensus, or even a generational consensus. We say, yeah, that's cool, when you say, I'm into, lizard men, or I say that's cool if you're into crystals, or something like that. And so, depending on our in-group, out-group relationships, we are drawn toward many ideologies and beliefs based not on any sort of, appeal or purpose in, the consensus view, but rather we're drawn toward it because we want to be around the people that we like, and we want to get validated by them and be part of the in-group. And it's not like a bad thing as such, but it's something to be cautious of. It's something to be wary of. And when you're looking at your spirituality, when you're looking at your internal world, ask yourself very carefully. Ask yourself very carefully if you're just repeating someone else's words. Nine of Wands, passion, and walls, and fire. So this, it speaks for itself in relation to the Seven of Cups. It's important that you focus on your inner world. Turn your inner eye toward whatever your source of understanding is, and make choices, stand by them. It's difficult not to flex and difficult not to give in when folks kind of overcome our own reasons for believing in a thing, but oftentimes the belief itself is worth keeping. And I know that sounds kind of weird because I'm a scientist, right? And so also I say refine constantly in the fire, and when a belief isn't working, run some experiments and figure out what's a better hypothesis, what's a better way to master this problem. And yet, unfortunately, the spiritual world, the occult, mysticism and God, they're also difficult to measure and difficult to verify or validate with other people, that we really have to be guided by our intuition. And sometimes we find ourselves as a lone voice against many, and it's hard to know when to give in, and it's hard to know when to stand up. And so what I do is I take a long view of my life and look for the correlations, look for the reasons that have occurred that I believe in this. If it's basically just someone said this and it was charismatic and it was an exciting moment, then I'm less likely to stand by that as, say this time I prayed for something and this thing happened. And when more of those things happen over time, then it strengthens the belief. And so observe whether your beliefs are grounded in a social reason or whether they're grounded in an experiential reason. Experiential, that's a word now. A frequent reminder for me these days, the notion of bridging rulership with empathy, bridging authority with the heart, and by reminding ourselves of our core values, by meditating upon our spirituality and the presumed morality of whatever our spiritual backer is, whether it's something purely secular such as the scientific method, or whether it's something totally out there like your invisible friend up in the sky. Reminding ourselves of the connectedness of others that our spirituality bears is important, because the King of Cups is one who's rooted in the people around him. This is a suggestion that even if you think that you are standing atop a mountaintop or a high castle, take note of the connectedness of the others to whatever it is you believe. I give myself advice, I give you advice. Greatest enemy, the Page of Swords. This is popped up earlier on too. I love that the tower is stuck beneath it. We'll just leave that out because it's an enemy card, right? And so this for me suggests the need to quiet my own overthinking. I don't know about you, but this is a busy little organ, and the Page of Swords is an active player who's actively formulating ideas, not so much charging off to fight about them yet, but just pondering, putting pieces together. It's hard to turn off the puzzle fixing device. We all have different brains and different obsessions, and we get our obsessions to variously serve us or destroy us, and solving puzzles is a fun one. Your greatest ally is your ability to transform, your ability to do what Geminis do and shift from one thing to another and transmute that which lies before you. Be mercurial. Yes, I think I have nothing more to add to that. Gemini, thank you for watching, and no, there's something more. There's something missing here. There's something missing here. Paranoia is missing here, and thus reeling it right back to the beginning. This was fun because I gave the reading as if it were you, and so I'm speaking as if it were them, kind of. But be aware that someone is going to come into your life and try and get you to believe something new. Interesting. Very interesting. That kind of changes it a little bit, but no, the essence remains intact, because it remains that we are self-rulers and decision-makers. 7 of Cups. That 9 of Wands, we determine what gets through, and King of Cups is our center. Okay, very good. Gemini, let's try that again. Behavioral economists suggest I tell you to hit like and subscribe, so please hit like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.